What's up, everybody? It's your favorite EMT's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Transformers, Generations, Combiner Wars, First Aid, and it's Memorial Day. Shout out to everybody who's lost a loved one in the service. And for those still in the service, keep your head on a swivel, Mac, and, you know, be safe. But back to this. I'm a little hungover from last night's barbecue. See, I got my coffee over there, but this guy is not what I wanted him to be, but we'll get into exactly why. First of all, he comes with this Combiner Wars hand foot bit, which we've all gone over 100 times, but for those who are their first time, there it is: hand and foot. He comes with this battle axe, which I think is extremely inappropriate for the character, but it does have a paint application on it, which is nice. Some interesting sculpt stuff going on in there too, but surprising that they did this, at least in my opinion. For the figure himself, head is on a ball joint, limited up and down because of the sculpt and the distance on the ball peg. The paint is not great. The eye bit is done well, but the silver bit doesn't cover all of the red on the mouth, which is unfortunate. Then this red here is a different tone of red than this, which is a different tone, and like these two match and these two match, and it just, I don't think that was their intention. I would have rather them gone with a more unified look personally, but whatever. Shoulders are on a ball joint. You have this huge piece of kibble flap that articulates on there as well, but is extremely unsightly. And elbow is on a soft ratchet, getting you a little past 90 degrees, and includes your bicep swivel. Nothing for the wrist or hands. Huge gap in the waist area there. Unfortunate. This silver here, in lieu of a skit, I'm going to show you something a little bit with this in a little later. You know, you got your ratchet in there, your ratcheted combiner port, which is, I don't know, it's just, I don't like that gap. I don't like it at all. It does have a waist swivel though, and hips are on T-jointed ball joints, which work okay, except this molding here hits up against there, so you have to like turn it, and then turn that. It's just, you know, in my opinion, it's poorly designed. Thigh swivel. Not a lick of paint in that area, the pelvis or the thighs, and then we get down here. We got blue paint on there, which looks nice, and you get a knee, which gets you 90 degrees, absolutely zero for the feet, and that's pretty much him in a nutshell. I like the head sculpt. Well, let me show you this. So he comes with a kibble backpack. That is, in my opinion, extremely unsightly and intrusive to the overall design of the figure. I don't care for it at all. But let's get him transformed. Let's turn his head around, bring that out. Let's see, how hard can this be, right? The same transformation that they all do now, which is this collapsing thing that at first seemed new and interesting and fun, and now kind of seems like, you know, a bit of a one-trick pony type of deal. Fold the arms up in here, but just collapsing the shoulder. It will collapse. There it is. Tuck that in there. And then we do the same on the other side. Open this up. Do our Combiner Wars transformation. It seems to be like on every Combiner Wars figure. I mean, it's not every one, I know, but it's just, and I don't even think it works all that well, to be honest with you. my favorite thing in the world. But they seem to absolutely adore it. Snap that down. And just clean her up. And you've got this, I guess it's some sort of rescue vehicle. You know, you should be an ambulance. But they did some nice, like, paint applications on here. Like, that's pretty clean. You know, it gets a little fuzzy down in there, but it's still pretty clean. All the lettering is done really well. Windows are all painted fairly clean. They did this silver bit, which they normally, I don't feel like, would, and so that's cool. This is all done nicely. That's done nicely. It would have been nice if they painted the wheels. What are you going to do? Rolls like a champ. Yeah, decent for what it is. And then for foot mode, I believe just you got to split the legs back open in order to twist the, what you call it, around. I guess when you were transforming him into the vehicle, you could have done this then and skipped a step. Yeah. So I think that's it. I will consult with the instructions to make sure. But, you know, that's, I mean, it's a nice solid brick, but it doesn't, you know, it is what it is. We won't judge until we get the fence or put together. And then lastly, arm mode, which, you pull these arms up here. They don't go past the 90-degree mark. It would have been nice if they did. And then bend the arm back this way. And like I think that's actually it for the upper part of the arm, which is a whole lot of meh to me. And then I don't know exactly what the configuration is, I guess like this. So we can get the joint out of it, get our hand ready. Plug her in. And there you go. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out, but that's that. Quick size comparison. There he is with Rook and RC. So what we're going to do today instead of a skit is, frankly, I'm just not feeling 100% and don't feel like jumping around like making an idiot of myself at the moment. We're going to do a small bit of customizing. This is just something that you can do with certain areas. It really helps make it pop, in my opinion, and is very simple. Doesn't require many skills or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some depth to this silver here and here. Let me see if I can't get a better camera angle. And we're going to use Citadel paint. It's a wash, and it's called Badab Black. You could pick it up at any Games Workshop or gamesworkshop.com or anything like that. They make pretty good paints. So and then we're just I use my nail to kind of thin it out sometimes, but just paint the silver with this wash. And it's nothing crazy, you know, it's just, you know, it'll just give it some depth and make it pop a little bit. It doesn't require much skill or effort, and it has a pretty big payoff. And then we'll do the other side. Forgive me if it's not, you know, showing up in frame well. It's a bit challenging to do this and also look in the viewfinder at the same time. Not making excuses, but it is a situation. Let's say. Okay, so there I went a little bit outside. brushed it off my finger. Good to go. So yeah, so we'll let that dry a bit, and then we'll show you what it looks like. You know, once it's dry, but you can kind of already see, like, what the wash does is it naturally, because of the thinness of it, it fills in these little nooks and crannies, and you know, and then it helps by filling in, it darkens the recesses, and then by default kind of makes the stuff that's supposed to stand out, and you can get a much more interesting and dynamic look to silvery parts, with just a little bit of effort. So there you go. Final thoughts wise, I'm fairly disappointed with this guy. First Aid is my favorite Protectobot, so maybe I'm a little biased. He just, you know, he was kind of the most developed of them in G1, so like, I don't know, I just attached myself to him. But I just feel like, you know, he's awfully kibbly. There's articulation issues in the mold. There's color differentials. There's touch and go paint application. There's just a lot that's unclean in, I don't know. Like I actually have no connection to Rook whatsoever, but Rook is much better done than this fella. But he's a decent sculpt. I think what I'll end up doing eventually is, you know, I'll have him. He's decent sculpt as far as like silhouette and stuff. I'll have him on a shelf. You know, they won't be combined, obviously, and I'll just take this piece off, like this piece, and then I'll just fold that flap up, and then that's how he'll stand. And maybe even take these off. I have to look, but yeah, he's just kind of messy for me. I don't know, not my favorite. But he is definitely on par with most of the other Combiner Wars stuff, even if he's not as like successfully done as, say, Dead End or Rook, which I kind of feel like have been the shining stars thus far in my experience. Possibly Silverbolt as well, but I'm just talking deluxes. He's no worse than any of the other ones. You know, like it's par for the course. So if you were, you know, in for the set or thinking about getting a set, don't let this deter you. It's just, you know, don't expect any real major improvements here. It's kind of more of the same. And I think this mold was already used with this Stunnicon extra fella, so, you know, many of you may probably already know what you're getting into. But if you don't, hope this helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.